Hey, this is Allen Robinson from the Jacksonville Jaguars, and you're listening to the Fantasy Footballers Podcast.
Welcome to the Fantasy Footballers Podcast, coming to you from the FantasyJocks.com studios with your hosts, Andy Holloway, Jason Moore, and Mike Wright.
Oh, the season is officially
begun.
That's right. That's right.
Very nice. 2017.
Oh, the year of the eggplant. That's what I'm calling it.
We're on to the combine.
The year of the eggplant.
You guys realize that
Stir-fried eggplant.
Yeah.
the combine is this month?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Bill.
I can't believe we can't even talk about the Super Bowl.
All right,
The
let's
Super
talk
Bowl?
about the Super. It might be remembered as decent.
I almost tweeted just decent game. Welcome. Look, there are lasting impacts from the Super Bowl. Welcome to the Fantasy Footballers, Andy, Mike, and Jason back again. Lasting impact. And you can go from anywhere to the legacy of Tom Brady to the injury to my right knee because I jumped around in so many circles, half mocking Mike, half in shock and disbelief, and then also mocking Mike some more.
Yep.
For those of you that have followed along, you know Mike and I were going toe-to-toe in a lunch bet.
Mano a mano,
And it was 28-3, and I just told Mike, I just looked at him, and I said, hey, go easy on me. I know I have a week of eating whatever you want me to eat for lunch, and I'm a dead man. And then
28-3.
I was calling Mike handsome.
you were trying to butter him up?
Butter him up, yeah.
Well, you were losing no matter what.
Right? So you became handsome.
So yesterday, Mike and Jason enjoyed some stir-fried eggplants. And by enjoyed, I mean despised.
It was literally snot filled with a paper wrapper. And then you put sauce
That's
on
a
it.
very poignant
Yeah,
observation
pretty accurate,
Yes,
right? It was
that is
disgusting.
exactly what it was. It was horrifying.
I told you, I thought they looked a lot like what I envisioned
And since when-
alien eggs or larvae to look like.
Since when does stir fry come with nothing other than one? Like a stir fry usually has vegetables
there's
and other
broccoli,
things.
there's carrots.
There's
roots.
chunks of snot covered in paper wrappers and nothing else.
What it's a bad sign when you ask the waiter how it is, and he doesn't give you an endorsement. It's just kind of like,
not
it's
bad.
all right.
He says it's an acquired taste.
Yeah. Well, you acquired it yesterday. Thank you, Tom Brady.
Oh.
Well, shout out to Kyle Borgononi.
Oh, there he is. The
for
Borg.
baby.
one of our writers, Atlanta fan. He coped with his devastating defeat with a very good GOAT Super Bowl performances article up on thefantasyfootballers.com. You can check that out, see James White's performance. Obviously, Tom Brady. What more can you say? The only way you cement a legacy that you already when you already have 4 Super Bowls, the only way that you somehow do more for it is come back from 28-3. Just unbelievable. No Gronk,
An
no
interesting
running
thing
game.
That for me, when they were talking about the game, and it's a lot of the Tom Brady greatness. Which Tom Brady was great for a quarter. He was pretty bad for about 3, but there's not nearly enough credit to me being talked about with that Edelman catch. Like, whew, I mean, that was absolutely bananas. Now I don't know if I'm going to compare it to like the Tyree catch. I think there was a little bit more luck involved in this one, but it was still a monster catch, and it was humongous for what they were doing.
It was right in the middle of the field where Tyree did his. You couldn't help but think of that catch.
I think it's a perfect comparison. I think there was the same amount of luck, the same amount of crazy
desperation,
the same amount of importance as well. You don't get that catch, you don't win the game.
And he doesn't make that catch. There was 3 Falcons there. I mean, there's a probability that would have gotten picked off.
So my quick question of the day for you guys that has just popped into my head: are the Falcons going to be more like the Seahawks in return, or more like the Panthers?
Oh, I'm
and
hopping in here first.
Fade away.
I'm hopping in here first
Because every team, you can write the narrative.
The
They'll
Falcons,
be back, but
the
what are they
Falcons
going to do?
are young.
Yes.
They are together, and they will absolutely not make the playoffs next year.
Are you attributing that to Shanahan
Who's
leaving?
going to keep him out?
I'm making that.
You said they won't make the playoffs.
They are not going to make the playoffs next year. The reason why.
Oh my gosh! Do you know what you're doing to Atlanta fans right now?
Oh, my heart breaks.
People
for
actually
Atlanta
listen
fans.
to this show.
No. I tweeted out like, look, I was rooting for the Patriots. I had a great time watching a historic game, but my heart genuinely breaks for them because we're Cardinals fans. 2009 Super Bowl. We're sitting there. And
we're a couple minutes from victory.
Yeah, I'm running in the streets after the Larry touchdown. You think you won the Super Bowl, and you don't get a lot of these, okay? And then you lose. So my heart breaks for them. But if you just look historically, how have teams that have lost in the Super Bowl fared the following year? Not very good. Now take away their offensive coordinator, maybe their quarterback coach. There's going to be some change over there. There's going to be some letdown. And so to me, I'm saying, yeah, there's going to be regression.
I don't know if they'll be back in the Super Bowl, but I disagree strongly with that. They're just going to fade into the night. Super young team. The offense is
so fast.
The offense
Just
is
such a
incredible,
fast
and the
team.
offense. I believe Taylor Gabriel is a restricted free agent next year. They'll probably pick him back up, but those weapons are going to be there, and that defense, which was really bad to start the year, started coming together. There's young guys who are getting it going. And you had Dan Quinn, who's a defensive guy. I think the defense is going to continue to get better. And with all the weapons that they have and an improving defense, I think that they're in the playoffs for sure next year.
On today's show, we have news and notes as well as some very, very interesting trivia going on. So we're going to try to stump Mike and Jason as we bring forth some.
Does that mean I get my drop?
Yeah, you do. You get your play a game drop.
Yes.
And we'll see what you out there, the listener, whether you can figure some of these out before Mike and Jason, and we'll talk about the implications of some of these stats and trivia that we bring forth. But we'll also talk news and notes. If you want to follow us, there are a lot of ways you can do that. On Twitter, at the FF Ballers, all our off-season content information posted there. A lot of exciting things happening. Some I can tell you, some I can't tell you quite yet. But you want to stay tuned. We're here all off season. Keep it right here. Check out thefantasyfootballers.com as well, and we are on jointhefoot.com. That's our fantasy football community and YouTube. The show after the show today, we'll be talking about some very interesting. Do you know what we're talking about, Mike?
No, it can't be more eggplant though.
No, it's not eggplant. It's not eggplant, but it is perhaps equally as humiliating. We'll talk a little bit about some old stadium features.
Oh,
NFL stadium features.
Oh, are we talking eye to eye?
Yeah.
Like the Goofy movie?
Eye to eye. That's how we'll tease it. So let's get into the news.
News and notes from around the league.
Look, you can go and you can listen to other fantasy football podcasts, but you will not get the quantity of Goofy movie references
It's impossible.
that Mike can bring. Look, I'm just putting it out there. You won't get that anywhere else.
No, there's not many podcasts that can stand out above the crowd.
Eye to eye. All right.
I have the whole movie memorized, if that's what we need to do.
Well done. No, we do not need to do that. Kyle Shanahan, aforementioned, hired officially as the 49ers head coach, 6-year deal. Joins, John Lynch as the GM. This is a concession of sorts by the management of San Francisco saying, look, we got a long way to go. This is a long rebuilding process, right?
It's smart.
A 6-year deal, let them solidify. I'm always a fan of this with any head coach. Yes, they can turn out the wrong way. Gus Bradley didn't come to fruition. But you even see when guys get that opportunity and they build some of the foundations, sometimes the coach behind them can come in. Jacksonville, for example, they've got a rising defense. Somebody can come in behind Gus Bradley, hopefully fix that situation up. Here you have a rebuild in San Francisco. I think I saw some early power rankings that had them 31 out of 32 teams next year. On paper, it looks like it's going to take a while.
Yeah, but
it's a good coach. It's a good hire.
I like that they've committed to a plan for 6 years, like you're saying. It might not work out, but look at the Cleveland Browns. I mean, they switch coaches every other year, and it just is. That's not how you get it done. And then you look at teams like the Steelers, where they've had basically 3 coaches in the existence of the football franchise.
Yeah, you think about that Cleveland year where they hired Joe Lombardi as not Joe Lombardi. Matt Lombardi as the GM, and it was Ray Horton as the head coach. And it was a 1 year. It was just, and then they're both gone. Like no stability. Speaking of the offensive coordinator position in Atlanta, if the quarterback's coach Matt LaFleur departs, which there's a good chance he will, because Oakland is pursuing him for their offensive coordinator position, and there seems to be mutual interest there. Chip Kelly has been rumored as a possible Falcons offensive coordinator.
I would love to see it for fascination reasons, but I can't imagine it would be better. Like,
no, yeah, that's what the problem is.
You got nowhere to go but down as the Falcons right now. My hope for them, like when the news was coming out that obviously Kyle Shanahan, he was going to be gone. What I thought, this is going to be a big deal if they don't have someone who's been with Kyle Shanahan in that position, stepping up into that role, keeping the same offense that was the number one offense in the league. And so that's why, you need Matt LaFleur if you're the Atlanta Falcons. I think you need him to be the offensive coordinator. Why would you change what just got you to the Super Bowl if he leaves? And honestly, if you're Matt LaFleur, why would you leave to take a different team's offensive coordinator job if you can have this one?
If
well,
that's a big if. I mean, he might go with K-Shy. We don't know. And I will say this for Chip Kelly, he at least likes to run the ball, and there was something lacking in the second half of the Super Bowl there. 3rd and 1, field goal range.
Yeah, we're not going to rehash all of that. We've done enough damage to Atlanta fans today. Couple of quick injury notes from the Super Bowl. Deion Lewis, Tevin Coleman were both injured late in the game. Deion Lewis's injury looks to be a hamstring injury. I heard 2 weeks till he's recovered, so he avoided major injury.
That did not look good.
No, it didn't. Tevin Coleman, is he all right?
Yeah,
I haven't heard anything about Coleman's injury.
Tevin Coleman's
he was on the sideline grimacing.
Yeah, it was an ankle injury, I believe, so he should be fine for the start of the season.
All right. Well, the Jimmy Garoppolo saga is going to begin this offseason. Tom Brady said that there's 0 chance he'll retire. I believe his quote was like Giselle said something like asked him to retire after this, and he said, "Sorry, babe." He's 3-5 more years.
I can play till I'm 50.
So Jimmy Garoppolo's a free agent after this season. He'll be traded for most likely this offseason.
He'll be the chip that just reloads the Patriots with more first and second round picks
and ruins another team.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what. If you're a fan of an NFL
you're
team,
not a believer of Jimmy Garoppolo.
I am in no way, shape, or form a believer in Jimmy Garoppolo for the cost. I don't think that when you're going to give up a first and a second and then pay the man a lot,
you're not going to do.
That's what's being
Jimmy.
floated right now.
He will be at least 2 second-round picks at the minimum.
What? They're not going to pay that.
Alex Smith was traded for 2 second-round picks.
Yeah,
Jimmy Garoppolo will be traded for at least
if
that.
He's traded
if
for
not more.
If I'm a fan of an NFL team, I do
and
not want to be
Jason.
that piece.
The problem with Garoppolo, he's been impressive when he plays.
He's played like 5 games.
I know, but I'm just saying.
Well,
it's not like he's been terrible.
There's a lot that people like about him from a scout perspective. It's not just played a few games, and you can't hold that against him. He didn't have a choice.
Right, but the problem when you trade all of that for Garoppolo, let's say you're going to me, you have to give up at least 2 seconds, and I think that it's likely going to be a first and something. But like Jason was talking about, the contract. He has 1 year left.
Then you gotta pay him.
You have 1 year to check on this guy that you just gave up multiple draft picks for, and then you have to pay him.
Better than just paying him. Better to have a year to check it.
Oh, whoever's trading for him will pay for him.
That's 10 times better.
But,
I mean,
to me, I'm saying
they won't pay starting. You will never do that.
He would get. He's likely going to get something like a Brock contract at the minimum, and to me,
in a year if he played well.
Right. Yeah. Right, but you've already given up these picks, and to me, I'd rather grab, no matter where I am in the draft, I'd rather just spend the first round pick on one of the rookies. And
it makes sense. There have been success stories like this, though. Matt Schaub is a great example. When Michael Vick was the quarterback in Atlanta, Houston went out, traded for Matt Schaub, and got several great years out of Matt Schaub. So there's context for that. I wouldn't pay a first. I'm with you on that.
It's very risky.
All right, awards this season. They've been handed out. The MVP and the Offensive Player of the Year was Matt Ryan. Dak Prescott took home the Rookie of the Year. Not Ezekiel Elliott. Yeah, Offensive Rookie. Defensive Rookie of the Year was Joey Bosa, and the Defensive Player of the Year was Khalil Mack. Khalil Mack's the reason I I picked them to win that game in spite of the lack of Derek
He
Carr.
still won the bracket.
Comeback player of the year, Jordy Nelson. And then, so there you go. It's been a heck of a year.
We won't get too much into it, but what do you guys think about T.O. getting snubbed again for the Hall of Fame?
I think it's
He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's like it's basically saying I don't like him. Right?
Yes,
There's no reason
yes.
other than you don't like him.
Yes.
That he's not in the Hall of
He
Fame.
deserves to be there.
I believe he's, top 5 in touchdowns?
No, his numbers are ridiculous.
Yeah.
And he dominated. He dominated at a level that very few ever have.
Yeah.
Even if
For
all the
multiple teams, multiple
even if
quarterbacks.
all the frills were annoying, he dominated.
Yeah, it's embarrassing to me that he's not in.
All right, before we jump into the game, I do want to thank the sponsor of today's show, and that is you.
Thank you.
The Foot Clan. We appreciate all your support at jointhefoot.com, helping keep this independent podcast going all year round. So thank you very much. It's more of a shout-out than it is anything else. We just appreciate your support. If you want to join the community, get involved in some of our leagues and things like that.
The Foot Clan leagues are forming. Like I said, 2017 starts today.
Well, it's not just that. I mean, we're trending up. This show's trending up. We've got free agent preview and coaching changes and rookies and early mock drafts. We've got the ultimate draft kit is being carefully molded like you've seen the movie Ghost?
I am familiar.
That's actually almost an exact live.
Got my arms around you.
Almost a
from
live
behind,
feed of us
teaching
molding that ultimate draft kit into perfect form. Oh my gosh. And Mike is the Whoopi of the situation
for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
And Jason is our Swayze. So and obviously,
yes, I'll take that. I have never been called Swayze.
I guess that leaves one character for me.
Demi
Moore.
Moore.
All right, let's jump into the game.
I want to play a game.
All right, we're gonna. I am Demi Moore. I am gonna ask you guys some questions here. We're gonna start off with some "Who am I?" questions. So I'm gonna give you some hints. Try to figure out who it is. These are always interesting when you get to look at the stats first before the player name. See if you can figure these out. So we're gonna start with the quarterback.
Matt McGloin.
Probably not.
Oh.
All right. So hint number one. Start at the quarterback position. In 2016, this past year, I had 4,317 passing yards. That is seventh.
Okay.
Seventh among quarterbacks. All right.
All right.
I was second in pass attempts with 672. All right. Second in pass attempts.
I have a guess.
You got an early guess.
I have a guess, but I'm gonna let some more clues fall out here.
I'll give you. Everybody gets one early guess there, and then one final guess. Okay.
Okay.
I ended the season as the QB 20 in 4-point and 6-point leagues.
This still makes me feel good about my pick.
I've got an.
All right. Why don't you each take an early guess?
My early guess here is Joe
That
Flacco.
is mine as well, Mr. Flacco.
That is correct. Joe Flacco.
We got it.
Nice. What were the final ones?
I was the third highest paid quarterback.
Yeah.
In 2016.
That's
And,
what a Super Bowl will get you.
Yeah.
And the last one, I also have a Super Bowl ring, so don't give me any flack.
Oh.
No flack.
Excellent. This is like the trivia games at the when you go to the TGI Fridays and they give you the clue, the answer in the final clue.
Right.
In some horrific pun.
So Joe Flacco, we know the situation there in Baltimore with the passing attempts and the implication for. To me, I'm done considering Joe Flacco, regardless of the attempts, as a fantasy potential option. Even if they
As
went
a starter.
Even if they went and got Brandon Marshall. Even if they went and got traded for DeAndre Hopkins or did something outlandish. But what it does mean is those receivers could have great value. Don't you? I mean, do you believe with the passing attempts and volume?
I think part of it is actually the running backs. If you look at how he's used in the passing game, the dump offs that happened, to Javorius Allen, and I'm really excited to see what they do.
Mr. Inactive Javorius Allen.
Well, even still, I mean, you got Kenneth Dixon,
You mean
Javorius
like,
Allen,
West
you got
and Dixon?
West. They all were involved this year in the passing game at times, and so I think that they want another running back. They need to be a running team. They've had 2 back-to-back years, 3, I think, where now Flacco has pretty much led the league in attempts. I think if you go over the last 3 years, he is the leader in attempts. And they haven't been good. They haven't been in the playoffs. It's not the Ravens' game plan. It's definitely not Joe Flacco's strength to be, throwing the ball that much. And so they're going to go out and they're going to get a great running back in the draft. That's
why
my prediction.
I think that's why Harbaugh's he's saying they need to get a running back. The thing about Joe Flacco is when he comes through, you almost never seem to know when it's going to happen. Joe Flacco often looks mighty tasty when you're going to stream from the waiver wire, and he's got, this is a plus matchup for Joey Flacco.
He's a much better real-life quarterback than a fantasy quarterback.
Correct.
He's the kind of quarterback and he gets paid that because if you need a big drive from him, he can give it to you. He can give you a late-game drive, but it doesn't equate to fantasy value despite the volume. So running back, who am I? All right. We're turning our attention to a running back. 13th in rushing attempts, 10th in targets.
Okay. All right.
5th in receptions and receiving yards among running backs. Okay.
Finished
RB6 in standard.
Okay. I had my early guess.
And 24 years old.
Oh, well, that takes Mr. Murray out of the equation for me.
24 years old. 25 in March.
All right, so he's involved in the passing and the running game.
You can see the clues there. I put them up on your screen. 13th in rushing attempts.
10th in target.
10th in targets. 5th in receptions and receiving yards.
I'm trying to remember. Oh.
It's a tough one, huh?
Yeah, it is a tough one. I have two guesses, and I'm trying to figure out which one I want to go with. And I'm going to go with the RB6, though. Dang it.
I'm going
RB6,
Jordan Howard.
RB6 screwed everything up for me.
I don't know that he's that old.
We have a Jordan Howard guess?
I know he's not. He wasn't the 6, but Mark Ingram was who I thought it was trending.
It's Devonta Freeman.
Oh.
Devonta Freeman.
Yeah.
Obviously played on Sunday, played well. Probably he could have brought home that MVP award had they stopped him. So, 24 years old. He's young. You have Tevin Coleman in the backfield. Is it time to just re-roll Devonta Freeman just like this past couple of years?
Yes.
And expect greatness?
Yeah, I think so. And you're looking at, I believe he's in the last year of his rookie contract, so there's already the talks of re-signing. So that's something that you have to monitor. Are they going to make him play out the last year of his contract? Or are they just going to go all in with it? I think it would be it's wise of them to lock him up, but that's a difficult situation where you don't want to overcommit money to the running back position. But just a reminder, when we were talking about the truth of Devonta Freeman, he was better. Last year, he was better fantasy production-wise when Tevin Coleman was on the field as well, giving him some rest, and Freeman was still the main guy, but he could get off the field enough to catch his breath.
The Super Bowl was a great template to what happened during the regular year. Obviously, Freeman was great, but you had certain drives where Coleman took three or four
Coleman will get touchdowns.
Snaps in a row. Yeah. All right, let's move to the wide receiver. All right, wide receiver, who am I? And then we're going to move on to some top fives and some random trivia. In 2016, I was 19th in targets.
Okay, 19th in targets.
19th in targets, but tied for 7th in receptions.
Oh.
So efficient, right?
Very impressive.
Finished as the wide receiver 10 in standard and half-point league, 7th in full PPR. I don't know the answer to this one, by the way,
Really?
so I can guess with you. I have the third most receiving TDs in the last 2 seasons combined.
Third most receiving
touchdowns. I've got my guess.
Okay, let's hear.
I'm going Devontae Adams.
Okay.
Okay.
Last 2 seasons combined, third most receiving TDs.
Yeah, I mean that's certainly interesting.
Wide receiver 10. Did he finish at 10?
Yeah, he finished around there.
He was super high. If I think efficiency, I think Aaron Rodgers.
Does this help? My first name used to be an awesome TV show on Nickelodeon.
Well, never mind.
Yeah, I got it.
Who is it?
That's Doug Baldwin.
It's Doug Baldwin.
There you go.
I thought Keenan. I was like, wait, Keenan Allen?
Keenan and Cal.
Yeah. Doug Baldwin.
The Devontae Show.
Yeah.
Not quite as catchy as Doug.
No, I don't remember the Devontae Show. Doug Baldwin. My first name used to be an awesome. Well done, Brooks. Well done. So third most receiving TDs in the last 2 seasons combined. We know how he went ham at the second half 2015. He pretty much did the same in the second half of 2016. Slightly less touchdowns, but still. Wide receiver 10, over under next year.
Over under 10. That's tough. I think I would take the under, but I put him right near there. I'm going to draft him again next year. I'm going to be happy to have him. When you look at the historical data, and I'm talking all-time NFL, not like modern era, all-time NFL, you look at the historical data of best quarterback rating paired with a wide receiver. And you find the greats. You find, the Peyton Manning and Harrison. You find Jerry Rice and Montana. You want to know who's right up there with all of them is Russell Wilson when he targets Doug Baldwin. And when I saw that, it was he's so good with that. They're not going to go away from it. It's part of that offense that he's already signed. They've got
Pop quiz. How old is Doug Baldwin?
I'm going to go 26.
I'm going to go 27.
You're both wrong. He's 28.
Oh.
But that was obviously the next one.
But that would have been your next guess. All right, I love Doug Baldwin next year. I'll be on record saying that.
He's a wide receiver 1 to me.
You fixed that O-line a little bit in Seattle.
They're not.
They
What does
will.
that sound?
That was them attempting to fix their
Do you have
offensive line.
More eggplant? Is that what that was?
Their offensive line is the eggplant of the offensive line world.
Yeah. Well, it can only be.
It's very mushy.
Can only be better.
It's
All right,
mushy.
a mushy O-line.
It just falls apart.
And yet,
You poke at
And
it
yet-
barely, and it just.
wide receiver 10. That's the point.
He's
So.
a beast.
All right, how many of these can you get? All right,
Oh.
any order. You can
All right.
You can guess these in any order. These are top 5 questions here. Top 5 sacked quarterbacks
Andrew Luck.
Oh,
in the past 2 seasons in any order. Give me your.
the past 2.
I'm still going with
This is
Andrew Luck.
over the past 2 years.
Certainly Andrew Luck's going to be number 1
I'm
over
gonna
the
go with
last
Andrew
2
Luck.
years.
Russell Wilson.
Okay.
I just saw Blake Bortles.
Oh, you're looking at the screen? Don't look at the screen.
Well,
I got to pull the winners up here.
All right.
Oh, sorry. I
Um,
had the doc, but
You're going to cheat.
I'm going to go
So you
Joe
got
Flacco.
Wilson, Bortles.
yeah, I wouldn't say Joe Flacco. Newton.
Luck is not one of the answers.
He's not.
He is
because of the time missed.
Neither is Cam Newton.
Oh, it's over the last 2 years. And
Yep. Wilson, Bortles. That, by the way, they're the top 2. Wilson 86 times, Bortles 85
Yeah,
times.
Wilson gets sacked all the time.
The last 3 are 81, 81, and 78 sacks. Last guesses.
Man of the
Phillip
last-
Rivers?
Nope.
All right.
Aaron Rodgers,
Oh yeah,
Aaron
that
Rodgers.
makes- That makes very much
Matthew
sense.
Stafford. Stafford and Rodgers both have 81, and Tyrod Taylor.
Oh, I know
78
Tyrod.
times.
Tyrod led the league this year.
So-
he was ahead of Andrew Luck.
Perfect follow-up question to the offensive line situation, right? You have Wilson, Bortles, Rodgers, Stafford, Taylor. Wilson and Rodgers have clearly overcome the O-line's situation, the sacks, to be fantasy relevant. Stafford has for the most part. Bortles, we've seen the good and the bad for the past 2 years. Kind of the decent and the
When
bad.
it's good, it's bad.
And then Tyrod Taylor, product of holding on to the ball, looking to run,
Yeah.
some of those things. So.
Is Tyrod Taylor a starting quarterback in the NFL next year?
Ooh, that's an excellent question.
For the whole year, no.
Yeah, I mean, for week 1.
Probably not.
Probably not.
I'm going to go with no.
Yeah, I'm gonna say yes.
Okay.
Tyrod Taylor, yes.
All right, top 5 running backs in terms of touchdowns for 2016 in any order. I know you're going to get a few of these, but
In all touchdowns?
yep.
LeGarrette
All right.
Blunt,
The top
Yeah.
5 touchdown
David
scorers.
Johnson,
Blunt, DJ,
Zeke.
Zeke. Who are the last 2?
I'm going to go DeMarco?
No?
No?
Ooh,
No,
he was
but
not
you're-
in there?
Yeah, you're kind of warm.
Oh, Latavius.
Latavius
I'll
is
go with the
of
other Mr.
course.
Murray, number 2.
12
Of
for
course,
Latavius, and then one
Latavius
more.
Murray.
Yeah, let's.
Was it Freeman?
It wasn't. But it was as slippery as some eggplant.
Oh,
Really?
Mr.
I was
Shady
gonna guess him,
McCoy.
but yeah, he did. He had a great touchdown year after last year's debacle.
Yeah, and little snap.
That's with Mike Gillisley taking all my touchdowns.
Little stat nugget for you. According to PFF's end-of-season offensive line rankings, 4 of these guys had top 11 offensive lines.
Go figure.
Which one did not? So you have,
We got to go through the list again.
well, you know the list. Blunt, DJ, Zeke, McCoy, and Murray.
Oh, I would LeGarrette Blount.
Nope.
Murray.
Nope.
What? The Raiders?
Or no. I honestly didn't mean that. I meant
Oh.
Shady.
No, they're great.
What? I didn't mean that. I meant.
Oh. This is David Johnson. Our offensive line was garbage.
Oh, we lost
Offensive
two
line for the
starters.
Cardinals was 26.
I forgot how bad our offensive line was.
Good work, gentlemen. Good
Yep,
work.
that's what we're here
David
for.
Johnson, the 26th ranked offensive line. I'm glad you guessed all of them except for David Johnson there.
We
All
didn't,
right.
We didn't get Zeke.
That's true. Thank you, Mike.
You're geniuses.
High
High five. Top 5 wide receivers in yards per reception, minimum 65 catches.
Julio.
Oh, Julio Jones. Dang it.
Top 5. So you said Julio?
Yeah,
Yes.
Julio. I'm going to go Mike Evans.
Jordy
No.
Nelson. Brandon Cooks.
I don't think Jordy's in there.
Brandon Cooks.
You have Julio's in there?
Okay.
Brandon Cooks is in there.
Yeah, he
Those
had
are the only two you got right.
He had a 98-yard. Wait,
Evans
Mike Evans
is not
wasn't
in there?
No.
Wow.
Nope.
Hmm.
Julio is the
Ooh,
leader,
ooh.
16.98. Cooks, 15.4.
Tyrell Williams.
Yes.
Yeah.
15.35. 2 left. Any guesses? They are not. Well, one of them's definitely not prolific. The other one is pretty good. Pretty darn good.
Oh, minimum 65. I think Djax is under that reception.
He's not
total
one
this
of them.
year.
Yep.
Oh.
Hilton?
T.Y. Hilton,
Oh, yeah, that's a great one.
15.91. And then the last one is the one I have a follow-up with. So
Oh, great. That
he's
it's
28 years old, and he's a free agent.
20.
He was wide receiver 26. He had 68 catches, and he was in the top 5 in yards per reception.
Oh, who's a free agent? Oh.
Cameron Merritt.
Oh. Is it Adam Thielen?
No.
Oh.
That's a good guess. I don't think he had 65 catches, though.
Yeah, probably not.
Kenny Britt.
Oh, yeah.
Kenny Britt, 28 years old, a free agent. We just talked about Doug
Tremendous
Baldwin being
year for
28
Kenny
years
Britt.
old. Britt has all the physical talent in the world, as long as he's not rolling his golf cart like he did in
Hard Knocks.
Hard Knocks.
Do you know how hard it is to get 1,000-yard season when you're a wide receiver, right? Your game is built on agility, speed, and you have this 1,000-pound weight of Jeff Fisher wearing you down every single day.
Did you see the question somebody asked Jason yesterday?
No. Oh.
Would you
oh,
rather?
yeah.
What was it for the next 2 years, 3 years?
No, it was 10. It was next 10
For the
years.
next 10 years, which of these things would you rather do? Eat eggplant for every meal, or have Jeff Fisher be the Cardinals coach for 10 years?
I don't want to answer it because it shows a little bit of selfishness.
No,
but
I
it's,
said Jeff Fisher.
it's definitely Jeff
that
Fisher.
was inedible.
because I will die.
I feel like I hit the jackpot.
Jeff Fisher went to a
just-
Super Bowl once. We can dream.
Yeah.
That's what all owners say to
Yeah.
themselves when they're, well, I guess he went once.
Yeah. All right. Here we go.
He's very good.
These are interesting. Some random trivia for you. Only
All right.
six quarterbacks have thrown for 50-plus touchdowns in their first 2 seasons, right? You combine not 50 per year,
Oh, wow.
but the combined total for their first 2 years in the NFL, only 6 quarterbacks have done it. Dan Marino is the top of that list. He had 68 combined touchdowns in his first 2 seasons.
Winston and Mariota.
Who? No, hold on.
No.
I haven't
Oh, all
given
right.
you the question yet.
Darn it.
Which active quarterback is second on that list? So Marino leads it, 68 combined touchdowns. Which quarterback, active right now, is second on that list?
So 50-plus touchdowns in his first 2 seasons.
That's right.
Well, and it's not going to be Andrew Luck. His
You are correct.
explosion was
It is not Andrew Luck.
was his 3rd year. Man,
Andy Dalton.
no, I'm not going to go.
I know
Andy
he came in strong year 1 with AJ Green.
50-plus touchdowns in 2 years.
He just did it.
Oh,
Okay? So
well, it's
recently, very recently.
Wait,
Well, I'm
like,
not giving. When you said like Andy
he
Dalton, that
just-
was a long time ago.
he
sure,
So I'm just saying
and it's not Winston or Mariota.
it is not.
So, and it's throwing, so it's not Cam.
Now, is this a qualified? Is this their first 2? Like they're starting the entire year?
Their first 2 years in the league.
Oh, very
Rookie and
the very first 2
sophomore.
years. In the league.
This quarterback just finished his 3rd year.
Oh man.
Wow, there's a lot of clues that have been given for us to not get this.
He just
A 3rd-year quarterback.
is it Bortles?
It is not.
Okay. Is Bortles
It
is
is.
around there? Yeah.
It is Derek Carr.
Wow.
It is
Wow.
Derek Carr.
50?
53 touchdowns in his first 2 years.
Not bad.
Here's a. By the way, Peyton Manning, Russell Wilson, Carson Palmer, Jameis Winston are the other 4. So Winston.
Oh, Jameis did
Winston
do it.
was right and wrong because he wasn't second on the list, but
Sure.
he was in that group. So Winston hit 50.
I'll
on the
take the
That is-
victory.
Yeah, of course.
Wow. Derek Carr, man.
All right. In 2016, the top 2 players in red zone targets and targets inside the 10-yard line are both from the same team.
Whoa, say that again?
Yeah, read that again.
In 2016, the top 2 players in red zone targets and targets inside the 10-yard line are both from the same team. What team? Which players?
I'm going to go
Jordy
and
Devontae
Devontae.
Adams.
Jordy and Devontae is
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah.
All right.
That's a high fiver.
So they were top 2 in both red zone targets and targets inside the 10-yard line.
Because Aaron Rodgers don't like rushing touchdowns.
No.
Russian touchdowns?
Yeah.
Like
No.
Vladimir Putin touchdowns?
Exactly.
Those are
Get
those
those
are
outta
not
here.
good.
Yeah, you don't want Russian touchdowns.
Unless you're listening
You
to,
want America
to
touchdowns.
the show in Russia, then bonjour.
Hey, yeah.
Man,
bonjour.
that
In that case, bonjour.
that picture, that graph that was shared after the Super Bowl on Twitter that was so funny is just
Super Bowl's won by country.
yes,
Oh,
global map. Super Bowl's won by country.
That was from @TerribleMaps on Twitter.
100% U.S.
I love that stuff.
Welcome to America.
World champions.
Oh my gosh. All right. Last one. Tight end Hunter Henry had 8 receiving touchdowns this year, rookie year. Only 4 other tight ends ever have had 8 or more touchdowns in their rookie year. That was Mike Ditka in 1961, Junior Miller in 1980, Lee Evans in 2004. Who was the most recent before Henry? This one shouldn't be hard.
Is it?
Gronk?
It's Gronk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Gronk. So
This is just to say how good Henry could be. Gates, get out the way.
You heard it here.
Gates, get out the way. I thought you said Gronk, get out the way for a second. I'm like, hold on.
No.
They clearly don't need Gronk. I mean, that's what we learned, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Worthless player,
Unnecessary.
useless. All right. So
Did
is Gronk? What do you do with him next year,
well, I was gonna,
other than
this-
trepidatiously draft him wherever he
This
goes?
is a more important question. Did Gronk party harder than everyone on the Patriots team after winning the Super Bowl, despite not
Yes.
playing in the Super Bowl?
100%. That's
Did
all
you
he had
see-
to do was party. He had
Did you
nothing
see the
else.
2 videos where he's
No.
like, "Brady's the best, baby.
No,
No,
I've
I
not
haven't
seen this.
5 Super Bowls. I got 2," and then he just runs off. I mean, he's just
He is the biggest
child.
I mean, yes, he is the largest child
He is the largest child
on earth.
on earth. So, all right, just some eye-opening trivia to add to all of the other chatter. Definitely check out the new articles up on the website. We're getting 4 or 5 of those up every week. Gonna get some rookie previews and rookie shows going very soon.
You want to know what else is coming really soon?
I do.
A new studio where
Oh.
right before shows, my microphone is not falling off on me and cutting my arm.
Did you cut your arm?
No, but it could have.
Could have.
Yeah, this thing this is falling.
So we were giving Mike a hard time because he was late today.
Yep.
And so we're sitting here literally twiddling our thumbs, getting ready to start the show. Mike comes hustling in. And like moments before we start the show, Jason's entire microphone stand
just collapsed.
and microphone just collapsed and falls right on him. So that would have happened in the show. So now Mike's going to
Thank you
use
for
that as
being late, Mike.
justification to be late.
It was ghosts.
All right, stay
was-
tuned. It was
Well,
Ghost.
Before we jump off the air, I had one more thing, just like a quick discussion point that I wanted to hit on because the Twitter trolls are out. The Twitter trolls are out in full force. Michael Floyd, 1 Super Bowl ring. Larry
Oh.
Fitzgerald, 0 rings. But that's not really the point of the question that I wanted to ask. But let's say you are an NFL player. I mean, we're going very off topic here, but you're an NFL player. You were inactive for 2/3 of the playoff run. You joined that team late. When you get that Super Bowl ring, do you actually feel joy?
I would.
I put that thing on,
Well, yeah.
and I wear it everywhere I go. Without a doubt. I'm a Super Bowl champ. Let the record show I am a champion.
Jason's the backup quarterback.
Jason
wins
is Adam
multiple-
Morrison.
Yes.
Remember Adam Morrison?
Yes.
filling his fingers
because I
with
can hit
Lakers,
threes,
Lakers.
and I can sit on the bench and get my rings.
Yeah, he did the latter, not the
they're
former.
more sitting on the bench.
college. He was really good in college.
So he deserves an NBA title?
He has an NBA title,
All
Andy.
right.
That's the
Two
point.
of them, by the way.
But so if you're Michael Floyd, I mean, you can't take. I know you're gonna wear it out. I know you're gonna be very.
I know,
proud.
you
But
don't have
on
pride.
on the inside, are you proud?
we know
at all?
from Michael Floyd's history that thought process isn't going to be.
Oh no,
He's not going to be carried through. So,
he's no Socrates.
hey, stay tuned for the show after the show. We're going to talk about some pretty funny NFL stadium stuff. That's on YouTube, and check out fantasyjocks.com for your fantasy winter needs.
Footballers.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Fantasy Footballers Podcast. Join our fantasy football community on jointhefoot.com and follow us on Twitter @TheFFBallers.